All right, so I am back from last week. Had a couple of bad calls. Went 6-4 overall from the couple of losses I took from last week. The Giants didn't come through. The Steelers didn't come through for me, but I did have some other teams that did come through for me. So yeah, I'm at 6-4 right now, but that's okay. I'm back at it. Welcome to Sports Edge. There was a title change, a channel name change from Ether Sports to Sports Edge. So my brother and I, we decided to change the channel name from Ether Sports to Sports Edge. So and he'll be making content as well. So that should be coming up shortly. But wanted to go ahead and give you my 5 picks for the Week 3 NFL games coming up. So, first game I'm going to review is I'm going to go with the Bengals and the Vikings. So the Bengals are 2-0 for the first time in probably some several years. They typically start pretty slow, so they're 2-0. Burrow is hurt, but they are nonetheless 2-0 going against the Vikings. They're 1-1. The Vikings, they also lost their starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. I believe he was injured, so he's going to be out. I'm not sure who his backup is, but the Bengals' backup is going to be Jake Browning. Jake Browning did a really good job, I believe, last year going against the Vikings, and I believe he's actually going to have a good showing this year. I think that he has the weapons. He just need more reps. I think Jake Browning is an excellent, solid backup quarterback. I think I heard somewhere he is in the top 5 in the league for as backup quarterbacks. So Jake Brown is a legit NFL quarterback. Give him some reps, give him some time to get acclimated to the offense, to build up some chemistry with some of the offensive guys. And I actually got the Bengals for the upset in this. So I'm going to go with the Bengals for this. And that's what I would do. I would do money line Bengals in this game. They're underdogs in this game. I'm not quite sure why, actually. The Bengals have, if we're going by quarterbacks, I think Jake Brown is the better backup quarterback. And I think they got the more weapons on the offense. Defense a little sketchy, but hey, the Bengals are 2-0. They've been able to stop the Browns and the Jaguars. Not the best teams in the world, but hey, a win is a win. They are 2-0. The defense have done enough to stop other teams. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in that game. Then let's move on to the Steelers and Patriots. The Steelers laid an egg for me last week. I thought they had it. I thought they was going to, take care of business with the Seahawks, but apparently they had other plans. So I'm going to go ahead, though, and take the Steelers for a rebound in this game. They are the Steelers. They don't lose. They don't have a losing culture. They do have a decent team. Aaron Rodgers, he has enough in the tank, I believe, to get the job done against the Patriots. Patriots, they're a pretty solid team so far this year. That May kid, I think he's doing pretty well. But I think the Steelers are going to get the job done against the Patriots this week coming up. So I'll go with the Steelers money line for the win. Then moving on to, I will review the Raiders and Commanders game. The Commanders obviously had a letdown game against the Packers. Packers, apparently they are a very good team. They were one of the games that I called wrong. I thought the Commanders was going to beat the Packers, but the Packers had other plans. The Packers are a pretty good team, apparently. So, but I look for the Commanders to get back on track this game against the Raiders. What better game to do that against the Raiders? They're going against Geno Smith. I'm not the biggest fan of Geno Smith. He's okay. He's all right, but there's a reason why the Seahawks traded him. So I believe that the Commanders are going to rebound, get back on track with this game, and take care of business against the Commanders. So I believe the Commanders are going to care of business against the Raiders. So I got the Commanders for this game. Moving on, then I'm going to go with the Texans versus the Jaguars. So Texans are 0-2. They've had some tough losses versus the Jaguars. Jaguars also had a tough loss last week against the Bengals. So you got two teams already kind of trying to fight for the season already. You know, I mean, it feels like it anyway. You got CJ Stroud that's for the Texans. And so far, things haven't really panned out for him the way he probably thought it would. I know CJ Stroud's a winner, so I expect the Texans to get back on track in this game. Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars, the quarterback. I believe he's a good quarterback, but he just doesn't have the pieces around him to be successful. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Texans to get their first win of the season against the Jaguars. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the, let's go talk about the Cowboys and Bears. I think that that's a fairly easy game to call. I think that the Cowboys are going to take care of business against the Bears. Dak Prescott, not my favorite quarterback in the world. However, he's good enough to beat the Bears. They're 0-2. They're really not that good, So, but the Cowboys, they're starting off the season, relatively strong. They're 1-1, lost a tough game against the Eagles, and so they're 1-1. I believe that the Cowboys got what it takes to take out the Bears. So I see that game going in their direction. So I'll say money line the Cowboys with that game. So, let's see. And then I'm going to do my final pick. I'm going to do the Chiefs versus the Giants. So the Chiefs and Giants, both teams are 0-2. Both have disappointing starts. Giants came very close to beating the Cowboys, and they just came up short and very disappointed. I thought Russell Wilson did enough to win that game. Defense didn't back him up. Chiefs, they've had some tough losses. Lost to the Chargers, lost to the Eagles, all playoff caliber teams. So there's no slight to them. This is a game where both teams got something to prove. They're both 0-2. Patrick Mahomes, you can make the argument of saying that the dynasty is over. It's officially over. They was embarrassed in the Super Bowl, and then they had the next crack at the team that embarrassed them in the Super Bowl at home, and they managed to lose that game. So the Chiefs are honestly fighting for pride at this point as well. They're fighting for pride. So they're not that team. They don't install fear into teams anymore. They're just a normal team now. They're just a normal team. Everybody shows up to play them, and they're like, oh, okay, they're just the Chiefs. So they're back to normal. They're no longer scary. They're just a pretty good team. Versus the Giants, who they're already 0-2. Russell Wilson, already there talks about Russell Wilson being not working out with the Giants already. But I think the national media, they're giving him some type of level of props, though. They're at least understanding that he had a good game against the Cowboys. It's just that the defense didn't show up for him. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say, splitting hairs. Both teams are 0-2. Both teams are, I think, going to come in there hungry. I'm going to go ahead and give the edge actually to, I believe, the Giants, man. I'm going to go with the Giants for the upset. They've made me wrong twice so far. They've made me wrong twice, but I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say the Giants is going to pull this off. I think they're going to pull it off. And yeah, so I think they're going to pull it off, and I think that they can do it. So those are my picks for Week 3. Hopefully, this helps some people to make their picks, to make their bets, and all that good stuff. But it's all for entertainment. At the end of the day, don't bet anything that you can't stand to lose. This is all fun. I'm just having fun with it. I bet small bets, a couple of bucks here, a couple of bucks there. So just have fun with it. And yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments. All right.